Welcome to Wickium. All right, what are the main things you would want to know about the trading day before the open? You would want to know where price is most likely to react and the range for that day. Now, luckily, George Douglas Taylor, the Taylor trading technique, he come up with a really good estimation for that. But save you from having to read the book, we have it right here on Wickium. Go to Markets, Taylor Levels, and then you can choose. We have a lot of markets on here. We can add more. If you want something added, let us know. Comment below. You're going to click on Futures. We're going to be looking at the ES, probably look at the MES. We're going to look at the MES today. But here's our levels and the expected range. So you click on that. And by the way, this is a pro feature, a Wickium Pro feature. I don't want you to watch this and feel baited at the end. I'm just telling you now, it's a small fee, but it is a pro feature. But every morning you can come on here, pick your instrument. Here we're going to look at the MES, and I'll tell you right here, levels for Friday, July 24th, based off of yesterday. And here's your resistance, support. And if you do want to see the previous levels, you can see this on the, you don't have to be a pro member to see the previous levels. So you can pop these on your charts and kind of see for yourself. These are all the previous days. And anywhere there's a dot is a day that price actually touched the actual level. But I'm going to show you how these work because they are levels. They are pretty good. And the range is pretty accurate. But there is a method to how to use them. So we're going to look at a chart real quick. All right, I already have them plotted on here. This is today. And you'll see I added some oscillators down here. And I'll tell you why here in a second. But this is today. This is our levels. This is our range taken right from the website. But what you want to do is give price a little time. This is our 8:30 open. We're in Central Time. So this shaded in area is our New York open. But I'm going to move this over to the right. And you want to wait and kind of see where price, you want it to make a high or a low. And see, you know, here we opened up, we come down, we made a low. And we're going back up. And you can see some rejection wicks there. And, you know, nobody knows for sure. You're just taking your best guess after the market's been open for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour or so. Usually the market makes its high or low in the first hour or so. You know, not every time, but normally you can catch the high or low of the day in the first hour or so. So here we go. We open, we come down, make a low, and we're coming up. We got some rejection here. We got this candle print. This is probably our low of the day. When that happens, when you're pretty confident, you know, give it your best guess after you've waited 30 minutes to an hour. All right, that's probably our low of the day. So this is where you want to, you know, you can do this on whatever platform. I'm just going to do it on Ninja. I'm just going to draw a box. So that is our range. And we're going to move this box to that low. So now these are our Taylor levels. So the Taylor levels are levels and a range. You want to wait till you have printed a high or a low to the best of your, you know, prediction. And then we're going to go along. We're live right now. We're just going to go along and see what happened here. Now, once you did that, you want to make sure you have room to run. You know, this is our predicted range. So once you've done that, we're like, all right, here's our, we think this is the low. Here's where we're at. Then this is where the oscillators come into play. And I just put 3 different ones on here. We got the stochastics, MACD, Wiseman. You can use whatever you want. And just kind of see, do any of these agree? You know, are we ready to actually take a long here? The stochastics is switched over here. You know, it looks good. The MACD is not quite there. The Wiseman is still under. You know, if you want to wait and see what it does, we're on the 3-minute. We waited one, wait another one. Starting to get some movement on the MACD. The Wiseman's decreasing, which is good. Stochastics looking good. Still got room to run. And we'll just say you got in here somewhere. Now we're at yesterday's close. You might expect some movement there. Now I did put a 9 EMA on here because I like to wait for a pullback. It doesn't have to be the 9. You can, some people use a 20, the 8, you know. The 9's a good one. Here's a pullback. You could have got in there in this area. Let's see if we get, there's a good one. Pretty much the same area. Let's say we got in there. This is our expected move, but on the MES, if you can, on the 3-minute, if you can get 10 points or so, you know, that's doing really good. 45, we need basically back to the close. So that's basically our 10 points right there. Let's see how we did. Come down a little bit. Oh, there it is right there. So there's your 10 points. And now this is not trading advice. I'm just showing you how to use the Taylor lines. I'm going to get rid of these. We'll go back another day. Now on this one, you can see the Taylor levels are way up here, and that's kind of a narrow range for how the MES has been acting lately. And then I'll show you the full day. You can kind of see how it pretty much stayed within that range, but we're going to move this down. We're going to kind of go through the same motions. So here's our open, going up, up, starting to die down a little bit. You got some rejection right there. We're 851. You know, at this point, you can be fairly confident that this is our high. So we'll draw our box for reference. And we'll move this down to that high. Now on this day, you don't have a whole lot of room to run. If you declare that the high at this point, and then you got another candle, a good rejection candle. If you want to take this trade, look at our oscillators, whichever ones you like. Stochastic's doing good. The MACD's falling down. Wiseman's getting red. If you did take a trade here, we're looking for 10 points. You want to make sure that 10 points is within our predicted range. Got room to run. We're at 60, 40. Yeah, so we got 20 points there to play with. And then I think this is 60. Yeah, here's 50. Yeah, so we got our 10 points. And then, you know, we don't care what it did the rest of the day. Because it kept going down. That's good, but we'll do one more day. And you can adapt this to your own trading style. I'm just giving you some examples. And some days, you'll get days like this, where the levels are get tapped just like that. And if you get a tap like that, see if you're Your other confluences agree, you can just take a trade right here. And not saying you're going to get here, we're just going for 10 or so points. And you see it tapped it, rejected, coming down. Stochastic has kind of rolled over. The MACD is still not really great. The Wiseman's getting red. You know, you may not want to get in right this second. There's another one looking better on our oscillators. Here's another one. We're starting to get a crossover here. We're getting some red here. But, you know, if you got in anywhere in here, you're going to get your 10 points. And then we'll see what it does. At this point, we would have moved our line here, especially after we saw this. And it pretty much hugged that line, hugged that level, stayed under it the whole time. So pretty much any trade you would have took on a reversal off the line would have been good. But that's the Taylor levels that come with the Pro right here. And like I said, you have, depending on what you like to trade, we have crypto, Forex, futures, a few stocks. If there's some in here you want, just let us know. But most of us are trading futures, so and all those, just pretty much any futures you want. And they're all very similar. If you look at oil, here's your levels for today, past levels. Most of everything on Wickium's free. You got news feed, the calendar, the forums, the catalogs, the compares. There's just a few things in the Pro tier, and that's what kind of keeps the lights on for all the rest of it. We also have market stats. We're going to make another video on this. We have market stats for, as you can see, pretty much everything. We'll just click on one real quick, but there's going to be another video on this. Market stats for initial balance, ranges, the whole bit. Our launch promo is only $9 a month. You know, normally it's $19, but we're doing a launch promo. It's only $9 a month. You get the Taylor levels, the market stats, everything else that's in the Pro tier. All right, thanks guys, and we'll see you on the next one.